There's an agonizing struggle growing on Dauphin Island tonight, a struggle to protect some wildlife species by culling another. At issue, the foxes of Dauphin Island, loved by many residents and visitors, but a threat, say city leaders, to nesting birds and endangered sea turtles. The city says efforts to discourage the foxes from intruding on nests have so far been unsuccessful, and they're preparing now to use stronger methods. For those who love the foxes, and one fox in particular, it's a call to action. If you visit Dauphin Island's West End, just as the sun greets another day, there's a good chance you might see one, maybe several. The foxes of Dauphin Island. Mobile's wildlife photographer Spence Harrison has seen them. In fact, he's been photographing them for several years.
People love to see the foxes. Visitors that have come, snowbirds and whatever, they see it on Facebook and whatever, and they want to see Roxy. They want to see the fox. And early in the morning, if you walk down the beach, chances are you might see one.
Roxy, yep, one of the foxes of Dauphin Island, has a name, and animal lovers like Spence have been getting to know her better for years. But now there's a problem with Roxy and her species. Dauphin Island is well known as a wild bird habitat and nursery for endangered sea turtles, nests that are sometimes pilfered by foxes. That has put Dauphin Island Mayor Jeff Collier in a very difficult situation, because the non-inhabited west end of the island was purchased by the city several years ago with Deepwater Horizon oil spill money, and it came with strings attached.
The property was transferred to the town of Dauphin Island around 3 or 4 years ago, and with it came a conservation management plan, because in the beginning, when the property was acquired, the goal was to make that part of the island, the undeveloped part of the west end, a more habitat-friendly area for shorebirds and sea turtles, particularly those that are threatened or endangered.
The foxes, he says, are a threat and have to be controlled. Who will determine how these animals are controlled?
Ultimately, at this point, it's going to be the Wildlife Service that we've recently partnered with to handle that, because we, as the town of Dauphin Island, we don't have the capacity to manage wildlife.
The mayor says the service will use best management practices and humane methods to control the population.
They're not going to remove all the foxes. They're going to remove a certain number of foxes to maintain a balance to where the foxes can survive and the plovers nesting birds can survive. Mm-hmm. But they're going to have to trap and euthanize and kill a certain amount of foxes, and it's like, that's still not acceptable.
And not acceptable for this island resident either.
We have to find a happy medium where everyone can coexist.
Kemahola and her husband were trying to decide if they should move to the island 4 years ago when she says a fox crossed their path and looked at them directly. The decision was made at that moment, and they felt close to the animals ever since. She worries not just if they'll be removed, but how it might happen.
We need to explore alternatives to possibly leg hole traps and shooting these animals. Mm-hmm. Very cruel death. They've known nothing but kindness from everyone on the island. And what a horrible way to end their lives.
You understand the mayor's caught in the middle. Do you have an appreciation for that?
Yes, I do. And hopefully the experts will come up with some answers.
Can this eradication happen without getting Roxy?
It can, because they're talking about only getting a certain number of foxes. And she's real. I mean, I'd hate to see, the crew go down there and she'll come right on up to you and say, what's going on? And won't have to trap her or anything. It says, goodbye. Now, there's no word when the effort to cull the foxes might begin tonight. As for Spence Harrison, he has established a change.org petition to try to discourage the city council from executing such a plan. He posted it yesterday, seeking 1,000 signatures, and tonight he's more than halfway there.